The way Sister Wives Season 19 handled Garrison Brown's death was so important, the Brown family honored his memory beautifully. More than 1 year after the tragic death of Garrison Brown, Sister Wives Season 19 is shedding light on the events surrounding his passing. Garrison was the son of Cody Brown and his second wife, Janelle Brown. He was also loved by Cody's wives, Mary Brown, Cristin Brown, and Robin Brown, who all raised the family's 18 children together. Although Garrison was featured often on Sister Wives throughout his youth, his appearances grew less frequent as his relationship with Cody became strained. Following Janelle and Cody's divorce, her adult sons were largely absent from the show. Garrison died by suicide on March 5, 2024. In the face of such a devastating loss, it was unclear whether Sister Wives would ever broach the topic of his passing. Recent seasons have focused less on the Brown children and more on the crumbling relationships between the adults amid Cody's divorces from Janelle, Mary, and Cristin. Garrison's passing had such a profound impact on the family, it needed to be addressed. As brutal as Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 23 was to watch, it was also the best tribute to a life gone too soon. While Sister Wives previews hinted Garrison's death would be discussed this season, the way it played out was even more gut-wrenching than expected. Cameras captured Mary while taping an interview segment, receiving several phone calls from Cody. Although she ignored his calls and tried to focus on her interview, Cody told her it was an emergency. Once Mary finally answered the phone, she remained on screen for a brief moment, with viewers knowing all too well the horrible news that was on the other end. One by one, Garrison's loved ones detailed how they found out about his passing. This drove home how his loss completely upended the family's sense of normalcy. While the Browns are public figures whose lives are televised, they're also a loving family who experienced the unthinkable. The story was told chronologically and honestly, with each family member's raw emotions on display. The incident also gave insight into the dynamics within the fractured family. Mary spoke about driving to be by Cody's side and bringing food to Janelle. Cody spoke of consoling his children, even those with whom he had strained relationships. Cody and Janelle later discussed making arrangements for their son together. Considering the past several seasons of Sister Wives have revolved around the chaos within the family, one of the few bright parts of the episode was how the family came together in the face of such unimaginable loss. While Sister Wives walked viewers through the circumstances surrounding Garrison's death, it also emphasized the wonderful impact his life had on his loved ones. Gabriel Brown, who was incredibly close to his brother, described him as an extremely genuine person who always felt a lot deeper than he expressed. He explained that Garrison brought an air of ease that made everyone around him feel comfortable, which he poignantly called the real mark of a gentleman. Cristin recounted Garrison's love of fire, traveling, and stars. Her daughter, Mykelti Padron, spoke about Garrison's humor, while Mykelti's husband, Tony Padron, remembered Garrison's friendliness. Throughout the episode, photographs showed how full Garrison's life was. The family's words about their beloved son and brother perfectly described how one-of-a-kind he was, and even in the middle of such a large family, he had a captivating presence that could never be replaced. The entire Brown family was honest as they recounted Garrison's struggles. Cristin admitted the family all knew that he was sad. Janelle revealed that she and her other sons would tag team to keep tabs on Garrison. She also opened up about his struggle with alcohol, explaining that it had started during COVID and escalated in the year before his death. Her candor is notable not only because of the generally taboo nature of substance misuse, but also because the Brown family's religion prohibited alcohol. The family's willingness to discuss Garrison's battles helps remove the secrecy surrounding mental health. Janelle explained that the tragedy forced her to have more frank conversations about mental health. She was aware of the trauma her other children were experiencing and made sure they had the resources necessary to cope. Janelle also prioritized her health and healing. It was important for her to stay busy, and she was thankful her move to North Carolina provided a fresh start away from the painful memories. Season 19 of Sister Wives took on a tone more poignant and emotionally resonant than any season before. The sudden and tragic passing of Garrison Brown, one of Janelle and Cody Brown's sons, cast a shadow over the series that couldn't and shouldn't be ignored. But rather than exploiting the heartbreak for ratings or skimming over it with minimal airtime, the series devoted itself to honoring Garrison in a way that felt honest, compassionate, and, above all, healing. It became clear from the very first episode that this season wasn't just about the ongoing dissolution of plural marriage, It was about remembering a life that touched everyone in the Brown family and many viewers at home. The show began the season with a gentle acknowledgement. There was no dramatic voiceover or overwrought production. Instead, we saw quiet home footage of Garrison smiling, laughing, holding kittens, those infamous cats he so lovingly adopted. Janelle, in a somber yet composed confessional, described her son as fiercely independent, incredibly kind, and full of dreams he was just starting to live out. As the screen faded to black, a simple message read, "In loving memory of Robert Garrison Brown, 1998 to 2024. That set the tone for the season. It was not about sensationalizing tragedy. It was about bearing witness to grief and, more importantly, to love. Each family member was given space to process Garrison's death in their own way. Janelle's journey, in particular, was central. Viewers watched her walk through the stages of grief with an honesty that was both raw and dignified. In one especially moving scene, she visited Garrison's home, touching the framed photos still hanging on the walls, sitting on the edge of his unmade bed, her eyes heavy with tears. She shared how they had texted just days before his passing and how, in hindsight, she wished she had seen more of his pain. Rather than keep things compartmentalized, the producers allowed space for the other family members, Cristin, Mary, Robin, and even Cody, to reflect on what Garrison meant to them. Cristin, always a nurturing presence, opened up about how Garrison was the kind of big brother who gave movie reviews better than Rotten Tomatoes and always helped his younger siblings with homework. She hosted a family dinner in his honor, making his favorite meal, chicken enchiladas and banana cream pie, while telling stories of his sarcastic wit and thoughtful gestures. Mary's reflection was particularly impactful. She recalled how Garrison was the one to comfort her when she lost her mother, bringing over groceries and insisting on doing the dishes. He had this quiet way of showing up when it mattered, she said. For a family often divided by complicated emotions, these shared memories served as a bridge, however temporary. Perhaps the most delicate arc of the season was Cody's. His strained relationships with several of his children have been a focal point of sister-wives for years. But Garrison's death served as a reckoning. In a powerful and emotionally loaded confessional, Cody admitted, "I failed him. I let distance and pride get in the way, and now I can't fix it." There was no script or spin, just a father grappling with irreversible loss. It was hard to watch, but important. It allowed viewers to see that healing sometimes starts with acknowledging the wound. Robin, too, found herself in a complicated position. Often the subject of blame or resentment in past seasons, she stepped forward with grace in season 19. She helped organize a community vigil in Flagstaff where friends, fans, and neighbors lit candles and shared stories of Garrison's kindness. Her own children created a memory board covered in photos and handwritten notes, a moving gesture that softened some of the criticism historically directed her way. One of the most beautiful episodes of the season followed Garrison's siblings, Gabriel, Hunter, Logan, Maddie, and others, as they embarked on a road trip to visit places Garrison loved. Zion National Park, the Nevada desert, and even a small roadside diner in Utah he used to rave about. Along the way, they laughed, cried, and played his favorite music. It was a pilgrimage of love, and in many ways, a coming together of a family so often fractured. The final episode was perhaps the most emotional of the series to date. The Browns gathered in Coyote Pass for a tree planting ceremony in Garrison's memory. Each family member placed a memento in the soil, a photo, a dog tag from his time in the National Guard, a cat toy, a journal. Cody, sobbing, placed one of Garrison's hats and said, "I'm sorry I wasn't better. I love you, son." There were no quick resolutions, no tidy endings. The Browns did not miraculously reunite in the face of grief. But they stood side by side, hands held, pain acknowledged, and love spoken aloud.